at ang kanilang posibleng pathways. Sa pagpapatupad ng Aral Reading Program, malinaw ang proseso ng monitoring ng learners' progress at ang kanilang posibleng pathways. Sa Key Stage 1 o hanggang Grades 1 to 3, ginagamit ang CRLA. Sa simula ng taon upang matukoy ang kasalukuyang kakayahan sa pagbasa ng mga bata. Ang focus ng intervention dito ay nakabatay sa Big 6 reading skills na binubuo ng oral language, phonological awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency at comprehension. Ang resulta ng CRLA ay nagiging batayan para sa pagbuo ng IRIP o Individualized Reading Intervention Plan. Samantala, sa Key Stage 2 at 3 o Grades 4 hanggang Grades 10, pangunahing ginagamit ang PhilIRI o Philippine Informal Reading Inventory upang makita ang mga mag-aaral ay nasa independent, instructional or frustration level. Kung sakaling ang bata ay makakuha ng resulta ng frustration level na 3 antas o higit pa ang ibinaba mula sa kasalukuyang grade level, saka lamang gagamitin ang CRLA upang masuri ng detalyado ang kanyang kasanayan at matukoy ang eksaktong antas ng interbensyon na kailangan. Sa lingguhang implementasyon, sinusunod ang 4 na araw ng pagtuturo kung saan isinasagawa ang mga nakasaad sa IRIP. At sa ika-5 araw o tuwing Biyernes ay ginaganap ang check-in. Ang check-in ay isang formative assessment kung saan sinusuri ang natamo ng bata ng lingguhang target o session objectives. Dito, ina-update ng tutor ang IRIP, inaayos ang teaching strategies, at inihahanda ang rekomendasyon para sa susunod na linggo. Mahalaga rin na ang lahat ng pagsusuri ay sinasagawa sa isang supportive environment upang mapanatili na kumpiyansa ang bata at mabawasan ang kanyang kaba o takot. Sa pagtatapos ng bawat quarter, isinasagawa ang summative assessment na sumasaklaw sa fluency, decoding, comprehension, vocabulary at paggamit ng reading strategies. Idinadagdag din ang qualitative indicators gaya ng partisipasyon sa klase, antas ng kumpiyansa at pakikilahok sa pagbabasa upang makakuha ng mas malinaw na larawan ng progreso ng mag-aaral. Ang resulta ng summative ay inihahambing sa baseline mula sa CRLA o PhilIRI upang masukat ang kanyang kasanayan. Batay sa datos, maaring mapabilang ang mag-aaral sa isa sa 5 pathways. Una, ang exit from Aral reading, kung saan natamo na ang bata ang grade level standards at nakikilahok sa mga pagbabasa sa klase nang hindi na nangangailangan ng dagdag na suporta. Ikalawa, ang exit from Aral reading with classroom support, kung saan ang bata ay malapit na sa grade level ngunit may ilang minor gaps, kaya hindi na kailangan ang araw-araw na aral sessions, subalit may targeted support na ibinibigay ng classroom teacher. Ikatlo, ang exit from Aral reading basic, kung saan nakamit na ang bata ng mastery ng foundational Big 6 skills tulad ng decoding at basic fluency at handa na siyang lumipat sa mas mataas na. 4, ang exit from Aral reading plus, kung saan ang mag-aaral fluency at comprehension, kaya't nakapag-apply na siya ng reading strategies ng mag-isa at nasa instructional or independent reading level. At ika-5, ang remain in Aral reading, kung saan may progreso ang bata ngunit nananatiling mas malaking agwat sa fluency or comprehension. Kaya at mas tinatinding interbensyon sa kanyang IRIP. Lahat ng desisyon ukol sa pathways ay kailangang maayos ang dokumento, kalakip ng mga ebidensya mula sa assessment results at IRIP tracking. Ang mga rekomendasyon ay hindi lamang responsibilidad ng tutor, kundi isang collaborative decision kasama ang classroom teacher, mga magulang at iba pang educational professionals upang masiguro na ang bata ay makakatanggap ng tamang suporta.
Program ensures that every learner follows a clear and structured pathway toward improving their reading skills. And just as important, it also provides defined exit points so that teachers, school heads, and stakeholders understand when and how a child is ready to move on. Exiting the program is not random, but is based on measurable progress. Mastery of the Big Six skills for Key Stage 1. Achievement of grade-level standards through Fluency for Key Stages 2 and 3, and evidence gathered from both formative and summative assessments. These exits guide whether a learner can fully return to regular classroom instruction, continue with minimal classroom-based support, or stay in Aral with more intensive interventions, making the process transparent, collaborative, and responsive to the learner's actual needs. 1. Entry assessment. To begin with, learners undergo an entry assessment depending on their key stage. Key Stage 1, grades 1 to 3. The CRLA, Classroom Reading Level Assessment, is the primary tool at the start of the school year. The focus is on the Big Six reading skills: oral language, phonological awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. The results from CRLA serve as the baseline for the IRIP, Individualized Reading Intervention Plan. Key Stages 2 and 3, grades 4 to 10. The PhilIRI, Philippine Informal Reading Inventory, is the standard entry tool. However, if the PhilIRI result shows a frustration level and indicates that the learner is reading 3 grade levels below their current placement, then the CRLA will be used for a more detailed evaluation. 2. Weekly flow of instruction. Moving forward, instruction follows a structured weekly flow. Days 1 to 4. Learners participate in focused reading sessions guided by their IRIP. Day 5, Friday, a check-in is conducted, which is a formative assessment to determine if weekly targets and objectives have been achieved. Results from the check-in are used to update the IRIP, refine strategies, and adjust group placement. Importantly, all assessments are carried out in a supportive environment to ensure learners remain confident and free from unnecessary anxiety. 3. Quarterly summative assessment. At the end of each quarter, a summative assessment is conducted. This measures progress in fluency, decoding, comprehension, vocabulary, reading strategies. In addition to these, qualitative indicators are also considered, such as participation or attendance, confidence level, engagement with reading activities. Finally, results are compared to the baseline data from CRLA or PhilIRI to accurately measure learner growth. For pathways and exit measures, based on the results, learners are placed into specific pathways. Specifically, they may fall into one of the following. 1. How will the learner exit from Aral reading? Indicator: achieves grade-level standards as shown in PhilIRI or summative results. Learner can fully participate in class without additional support. 2. Exit from Aral reading with classroom support. Indicator: approaching grade-level expectations, but still has minor gaps. Learner no longer requires daily Aral sessions, but continues to receive targeted support from the classroom teacher. 3. Exit from Aral Reading Basic. Measure demonstrates mastery of foundational Big Six skills, such as decoding and basic fluency. Learner is ready to progress to more advanced comprehension tasks. 4. Exit from Aral Reading Plus. Measure shows consistent grade-level fluency and comprehension. Learner can apply reading strategies independently and is performing at the instructional or independent reading level. 5. Remain in Aral Reading. Measure learner demonstrates progress but continues to show significant gaps in fluency or comprehension. Requires extended Aral sessions and more intensive IRIP interventions. 5. Documentation and collaborative decision-making. Equally important, all exit placements and decisions must be properly documented. This includes IRIP updates, assessment results, and observations. Furthermore, decisions about a learner's pathway should be made collaboratively by tutors, classroom teachers, parents or guardians, and other education professionals to ensure that the support provided is both accurate and appropriate. 6. End of school year, USY, assessment. Finally, at the end of the school year, a comprehensive assessment is conducted. The PhilIRI is administered 1 month before the fourth quarter exam to reassess learner progress. Learners who have not yet met grade-level expectations will be recommended to join the Aral Summer Program for continued support and intervention. Always remember, this session will walk us through the current status of literacy in the country, which serves as the foundation for why the Aral program is both urgent and necessary. As school leaders, it is important for us to understand the depth of the learning crisis our children are facing, across grade levels, and even up to higher education. By recognizing these challenges, we will be better equipped to contextualize our interventions, align our school priorities, and provide meaningful support to teachers, learners, and communities. Ultimately, this orientation is not just about statistics, but about preparing us to take collective action so that no learner is left behind. Literacy performance across education levels. The literacy crisis in our country is evident at every stage of the learning continuum. At grade 4, Filipino students ranked last among 58 countries in the TIMSS for math and science. By grade 5, 1 in 10 students still cannot read according to SEAPLM results. At grade 10, the PISA assessment revealed that the Philippines scored lowest in the world in reading, math, and science. Even at the college level, 4 out of 10 students drop out, while graduates face declining returns to education. What this tells us is that learning gaps begin early and accumulate through the years, with lifelong consequences. Early learning foundations. Research shows that children are already falling behind as early as ages 0 to 8. Weak foundations in early literacy and numeracy lead to compounded difficulties later on. By the time they reach grade 3, many students are already 2 to 3 years behind curriculum expectations, making it harder for them to catch up. Addressing this requires targeted interventions during the early years, where the foundations of lifelong learning are built. Learning gaps pre- and post-pandemic. Even before the pandemic, a UNICEF study revealed that by grade 4, most Filipino students were performing at grade 3 level or lower in math and literacy. Alarmingly, about half were only at grades 1 to 2 levels. COVID-19 further widened these gaps, leaving students 2 to 3 years behind expected competencies. This shows that our learning crisis Many learners remain at the level of low emerging readers, who know only a few letter sounds and can decode only a handful of words with limited comprehension. Some are transitioning readers who can read with partial fluency, Aral Plus learners. How are you feeling today? I hope you are all doing well and ready to learn. Today, our Aral session has 4 important goals. First, we will practice reading a text aloud with my guidance. Second, we will learn to identify some words from the text and tell whether they are people, places, things, or events. Third, we will recognize the root word of each noun. And fourth, we will try to write one new sentence using a noun. Now let us begin with our bridge to learning. I have here a written word. Look at this word, mealtime. Let us all say it together, mealtime. Very good. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a short while and imagine what happens during dinner at home. Picture it clearly. Who do you see? What do you use? What's around you? Open your eyes. I know you've thought of many things. I will give each of you a small piece of paper. On your paper, I want you to write 4 words that came into your mind. These words can be people, places, things, or events related to mealtime. Go ahead, write them down. Now, let's share with a partner. One by one, say one word aloud to your partner, and listen carefully when your partner shares. If you hear a new word that you like, you can add it to your list. Very good sharing. Now, as partners, choose one word from your combined list. Just one special word that both of you want to share with the class. Let's begin. Raise your hand when you are ready to share. Very good. You said plate. That's correct. Plate is something we use during mealtime. Let's write that on the board. Another pair. Your word is family. Excellent. Family is who we see during mealtime. Let's add that to our word web. Next pair, you chose rice. Very good. Rice is food that we eat. Let's put that here. Another pair says talking. Wonderful. Talking is an event that happens at mealtime. Look at our board now. We started with the word mealtime, and around it we now have many words. Plate, family, rice, talking, and more. This is our quick word web, and it shows us how one big idea can connect to many other words. Now, let's go back to what we already know. Words can be grouped as people, places, things, events, or even ideas. These words are called nouns. Can you say that with me? Nouns. Very good. I have here some words. For people or characters, we have Maya, Ben, brother, family, Nene, children, and father. Did you hear that? Yes, those are nouns because they are names of people. You are correct. Now for places, we have home, Manila, kitchen, sink, table, market, and work. Can you say one place with me? Kitchen. Very good. That is a place. For food or mealtime items, we have cooking, mealtime, chicken adobo, rice, meal, food, bowl, plate, salad, pitcher, and sago gulamon. Yes, you are right. These are nouns too because they are names of things or food. Now for feelings and time or events, we have evening, aroma, time, prayer, day, stories, jokes, moments, and sharing stories. Can you say prayer? Correct. Prayer is also a noun. So, when we read these words again, we can remember that nouns are everywhere. People, places, things, food, events, and even special moments. Excellent job. Listen and watch me. I will read mealtime with family, aloud with clear pronunciation, natural phrasing, and a steady pace. Notice how I pause and use expression. Every evening, our family sits around the big wooden table. Mama serves hot rice, tasty sinigang, and cold juice. We smile, talk, and share stories about our day. Papa tells funny jokes that make us laugh. The food smells delicious, and the room feels warm and happy. Mealtime is our favorite part of the day because we are together. Now, let's read the same text together. Read aloud with me. Match my voice, my pacing, and my pauses. Ready, begin. Every evening, our family sits around the big wooden table. Mama serves hot rice, tasty sinigang, and cold juice. We smile, talk, and share stories about our day. Papa tells funny jokes that make us laugh. The food smells delicious, and the room feels warm and happy. Mealtime is our favorite part of the day because we are together. Great reading. Now, read it in pairs. Partner A, read the first sentence. Partner B, read the next sentence. Keep your voices clear and your pace steady. Begin. Switch roles. Partner B, start. Partner A, follow. Keep the same clarity and speed. Begin. Excellent. Let's read the paragraph once more together. Clear voices, steady pace, same expression. Ready, begin. Every evening, our family sits around the big wooden table. Mama serves hot rice, tasty sinigang, and cold juice. We smile, talk, and share stories about our day. Papa tells funny jokes that make us laugh. The food smells delicious, and the room feels warm and happy. Mealtime is our favorite part of the day because we are together. Discuss meaning and ideas. Now that we have read the story together, let us talk about what it means. We will read one paragraph at a time, then I will ask you a question. Answer in complete sentences if you can. Paragraph 1. Every evening, our family sits around the big wooden table. Mama serves hot rice, tasty sinigang, and cold juice. Ask, what time of the day was it? Guide learners to say, it was evening. Paragraph 2. We smile, talk, and share stories about our day. Ask, what made the kitchen smell good? Guide learners to say, the food made the kitchen smell good. Paragraph 3. Papa tells funny jokes that make us laugh. Ask, what were they waiting for? Guide learners to say, they were waiting for the food or mealtime. Paragraph 4. The food smells delicious, and the room feels warm and happy. Ask, what do you call the container used for pouring drinks like sago gulomon? Guide learners to say, it is called a pitcher. Paragraph 5. Mealtime is our favorite part of the day because we are together. Ask, what did everyone do before they ate? Guide learners to say, they talked, smiled, and shared stories. Follow up. Ask, what did Mother share about the market? Guide learners. She shared stories about the market when buying food. Final question. What made mealtime more than just eating food? Guide learners. Because they were happy together as a family. Grow vocabulary and fluency. Now, let us grow our vocabulary and practice fluency. As we answer the questions from the story, I will write the important words on the board. These words are called nouns. Then, we will also write their root words. Watch and read with me. It was evening. The root word is eve. The smell of Filipino cooking. The root word is cook. They waited for mealtime. The root word is meal. A pitcher of sago gulomon. The root word is pitch. They said a prayer. The root word is pray. Nene shared stories. The root word is story. Being together, sharing stories. The root word is share. These root words help us understand the meaning of the nouns better. They are the simplest form of the word. Now, I will give each pair of learners a slip of paper. On your slip, you will see one of these nouns. Your task is to write down its root word. After writing, check your answer with another pair. Work together, compare your answers, and see if they match. Well done, everyone. You are now learning to see the root words that help us understand bigger words. Evaluate understanding. Now, let us check our understanding. I will read sentences, and you will choose the correct word from the box to complete each one. After that, we will find and encircle the root word in your answer. The words in the box are blessing, laughter, gathering, celebration, sharing, giving. Number 1. The Sunday blank begins when the eldest sibling unveils a steaming pot of care. Number 2. Before anyone takes rice, Toddy offers a heartfelt blank for the meal and the hands that prepared it. Number 3. A burst of hearty blank fills the room when the youngest child drops a spoon into the soup. Make sure you choose carefully, and don't forget to encircle the root
Aral tutors at mga ginigiliw na magulang, maaring hindi paganap at malinaw sa inyo kung paano isinasagawa ang aktwal na pagtuturo sa mga bata sa ilalim ng Aral Reading Program. Kaya naman narito ang isang detalyado at formal na gabay na nakabatay mismo sa opisyal na mga alituntunin ng DepEd. Layunin nitong ipaliwanag ang mga kailangang ihanda, mga materyales na gagamitin, istruktura ng bawat sesyon at mga inaasahang gampanin ng mga tagapagturo at mag-aaral upang matiyak ang epektibong pagpapatupad ng programang aral sa pagbasa para sa Key Stage 1. Narito ang mga gabay sa pagsasagawa ng Aral Reading Sessions para sa Key Stage 1. Ang curriculum para sa mga aral readers sa Key Stage 1 ay idinisenyo upang palakasin ang pundasyong kasanayan sa pagbasa ng mga mag-aaral. Ang mga tagapagturo o tutors at mga mag-aaral ay bibigyan ng mga kagamitang pampagtuturo at pampagkatuto gaya ng nakasaad. Para sa mga mag-aaral, mga decodable books, levered readers, flashcards, letter tiles, mga activity sheets o workbook. Para sa mga tagapagturo, alphabet cards, word picture cards, at teacher's guide. Maaaring gamitin ang mga tagapagturo ang kasalukuyang mga dekalidad at aprobadong materyales na binuo ng rehiyon o ng dibisyon. Tiyakin na ang mga punong guro ang pagkakaroon ng angkop na lugar para sa pagsasagawa ng aral reading sessions. Ang pagbili ng karagdagang mga materyales o supply na hindi pinagkaloob ng DepEd Central Office ay maaring gawin gamit ang MOOE alinsunod sa umiiral na mga alituntunin sa pagbudget at pagkuha. Maaring isagawa ang aral reading sessions gamit ang alinman sa mga sumusunod na delivery modes: face-to-face sessions, online sessions, blended learning sessions. Kapag may suspension ng klase, agad na ililipat ang mga paaralan sa alternative delivery modes for education in emergencies, ang pagsasagawa ng sesyon upang matiyak ang pagpapatuloy ng pagkatuto ayon sa DepEd 22 Series of 2024. Maaring isagawa ang tutorial session sa alinman o kombinasyon ng mga sumusunod na eskema. Pull out. Hahatakin ang mga mag-aaral mula sa regular na klase sa oras ng klase para dumalo sa aral reading sessions. Off-school hours. Gaganapin ang session bago o pagkatapos ng klase, tuwing weekends o anumang oras sa loob ng school calendar. At iba pang estratehiya na imumungkahi ng paaralan kasunod ng pag-aproba ng Schools Division Superintendents. Ang mga aral reading sessions ay hindi lalampas sa 1 oras tuwing weekdays at inirerekomendang isagawa araw-araw. Para sa mga paaralang may multiple class shift o espesyal na mga programang kurikular, maaaring isagawa ang aral reading tuwing weekends na hindi lalampas sa 2 oras bawat sesyon. Nakasaad sa Table 5 ang inirerekomendang istruktura ng karaniwang aral sessions. Narito ang istruktura ng aral reading sessions. Una, gawain sa motibasyon. Paghahanda ng aralin gamit ang maikling laro, video o kwentong pambata o tanong. Halimbawa, bago tayo magsimula, may tanong ako. Ano ang paborito niyong hayop at bakit? Halina't panoorin natin ang maikling kwento tungkol sa aso na marunong magbasa. Pangalawa, balik-aral. Muling pagbisita ng nakaraang aralin gamit ang flashcards o oral na aktibidad o maikling laro. Halimbawa, naalala niyo pa ba ang mga tunog ng titik B at D? Tingnan natin sa flashcards at sabay-sabay nating bigkasin. Ikatlo, pagtalakay. Ito ang paglinang ng bagong kasanayan o konsepto gamit ang malinaw na halimbawa at interaktibong aktibidad. Halimbawa, ngayon ay tatalakayin natin ang tunog na titik M. Pakinggan ninyo. Anong salita ang nagsisimula sa Sabihin natin, Mesa. Mangga. Manok. Pagsasanay. Aplikasyon ng bagong kasanayan sa pamamagitan ng guided exercises, group work o individual activities. Halimbawa, ngayon, gamitin natin ang letter tiles para buuin ang mga salitang mata. Sabay-sabay natin basahin. Mata. Mata. Pagtataya sa pagkatuto, pagsusuri sa pag-unawa at kasanayan gamit ang maikling pagsusulit o interaktibong aktibidad o recitation. Halimbawa, basahin nga ang salitang nasa flashcards. Anong salita ito? Tama, iyan ay baka. Sino ang makakaubuo ng pangungusap gamit ang salitang baka? Ika-6, pagtapos na gawain. Ito'y buod ng mahalagang aralin upang tiyakin na naabot ang layunin at mapatatag ang pagkatuto. Halimbawa, ngayong araw ay natutunan natin ang tunog ng titik M at bumuo tayo ng mga salita. Anong salita ang naalala mo at bakit? Panghuli, ang takdang aralin. Pagbibigay ng gawain sa bahay upang mapatibay ang natutuhan. Ngayong gabi, hiling ko na basahin ninyo ang inyong decodable book, ang kwentong si Miko at ang mangga. Bukas ay ikikwento nyo sa akin. Pangkahalatang paalala para sa maayos na pagsasagawa. Siguraduhin na ang mga kagamitan ay nasa tamang bilang o kondisyon bago ang sesyon. Ang espasyo ay dapat tahimik, maaliwalas at ligtas para sa mga mag-aaral. Ugaliing sundin ang inirekomendang struktura ng sesyon upang mapanatili ang kaayusan at bisa ng pagtuturo. Isama ang mga magulang o tagapag-alaga sa pagbigay ng suporta lalo na sa takdang aralin at reinforcements sa bahay.
Today we begin session 1.b, Understanding the Aral Reading Program. This orientation is important because Aral is not just another project. It is the department's concrete response to help struggling learners recover and strengthen their reading skills. In this session, we will walk through the program's foundations, guidelines, and implementation flow so that all of us, from school heads to teachers, understand not only the technicalities, but also the purpose behind every step. When we talk about Aral milestones, we are really talking about a roadmap of readiness. It started in June 2025 with DepEd Order Number 18, the program's main implementing guidelines. By July, DepEd released Memorandum 56, which provided schools with tools for the Aral School Readiness and Responsiveness Audit. Then, in August, Memorandum 64 followed, giving the specific guidelines for Aral reading for key stages 1 to 3. These issuances are not just paperwork. They represent a timeline of how carefully the department prepared before the rollout. The materials, trainings, and orientations we are doing right now are part of that sequence, ensuring that by August 26th or September 15th, every school is ready to start. These issuances, due 18, DM 56, and DM 64, are the pillars of Aral. Imagine them as the rulebook, the audit checklist, and the subject-specific playbook. The order gives us the what and the why. The memorandum on ASRRA tells us how ready we are, and the Aral reading guidelines focus on the actual delivery of reading interventions. Without these issuances, implementation would be fragmented. With them, we are aligned from central office down to the classroom tutor. The framework shown here looks like a cycle, but it is actually a learner's journey. It begins with the BOSI assessment. That's our starting line, where we identify who needs extra help. From there, learners enter targeted Aral interventions, with teachers tracking progress through formative assessments. Learners who catch up can exit at any point. Those who continue to struggle stay in the program and get additional support. By the EOSY assessment, We know who has reached grade level and who still needs Aral summer. This framework is like a safety net. It makes sure that struggling learners are continuously supported and never fall through the cracks. Aral is not limited to public school learners. Those in private schools who fall below proficiency levels can also benefit, provided they request support, as allowed by RA 12028. But because resources are limited, preference will be given to ESC grantees. Think of this as DEEP's way of ensuring fairness. Those most in need get priority. At the same time, learners who reach proficiency during the year can still join supplemental Aral classes in summer, not as remediation but as enrichment, keeping them engaged and supported. The coverage of Aral is broad but focused. For key stages 1 to 3, we zero in on reading and mathematics across grades 1 to 10 and science beginning in grade 3. Even kindergarten is part of the plan, though not in the form of direct remediation. Rather, foundational skills are built into their daily developmental blocks. The message here is clear. Aral is not a patch-up program. It is a system of academic recovery that spans from the earliest learners all the way to junior high. Aral has 4 components: reading, mathematics, science, and summer. But let's be realistic. Resources are limited, so Dep Ed had to prioritize. That's why for this school year, the focus is Aral reading. Why? Because reading is the gateway skill, and among the 4, it is the most prepared in terms of assessments and materials. Mathematics is projected to roll out later, possibly by the 3rd quarter or during summer, while science will follow in SY 2026 to 2027. So, the spotlight now is on reading. Because if learners cannot read fluently, they cannot fully learn in other subjects. This slide highlights Dep Ed Memorandum 64, S. 2025, which is the official set of implementing guidelines for Aral reading. Released last August 1st, this memo details how Aral will work for key stages 1 to 3. It is like our handbook for reading recovery. Who the beneficiaries are, how learners are assessed, what materials are used, and how sessions are scheduled. It formalizes the commitment of Dep Ed to prioritize reading in the first wave of Aral. Now, who gets into Aral reading? Participation is evidence-based. For grade 1, we look at the Mosey assessment results under the CRLA. For grades 2 and 3, we use CRLA Bosey results. For grades 4 to 10, we rely on the PhilIRI Bosey in English, since that is the mandated medium. From there, learners are categorized. In SY 2025 to 2026, the focus will be on low and high emerging learners in Key Stage 1 and frustration level readers in Key Stages 2 and 3. Schools with enough resources may extend to developing or 2 levels down learners. This ensures the program reaches the most urgent cases while still allowing flexibility. Assessment is not just paperwork. It is the basis for everything in Aral. That's why schools must ensure that CRLA and PhilIRI results are conducted and uploaded into the dashboard. This is how we identify our target Aral learners. As for delivery, classes must be small, a maximum of 15 learners, but even fewer is encouraged when possible. Smaller groups mean more attention, more interaction, and more effective remediation. Think of it as intensive care for reading. The smaller the group, the deeper the support. This slide presents the number of Aral beneficiaries across regions. Data like this is more than statistics. It gives us a clear picture of the urgency in our schools. For example, knowing how many low and high emerging readers exist in a region helps school heads gauge the scale of interventions needed. I encourage you to think of your own schools. How many learners are in need of immediate support? This data is not just for monitoring, but also for planning how to allocate teachers, para-teachers, and resources for Aral implementation. One important concern is how teachers are supported as they take on Aral tutorials. For Dep Ed teachers, the law and policies provide safeguards. Teaching overload pay under the Magna Carta for public school teachers, DBM guidelines, and DO 005, S. 2024, as well as vacation service credits under DO 013, S. 2024. This means our teachers will not only be compensated fairly, but will also be recognized for the additional service they provide. Aral's success relies on motivated teachers, and this compensation framework helps secure that motivation. Beyond licensed teachers, Aral welcomes para-teachers and even pre-service teachers to participate. Para-teachers and trained individuals will be paid not less than the minimum daily wage, under contract of service or job order, as per CSADM guidelines. Pre-service teachers, on the other hand, gain relevant teaching experience that counts when applying for plantilla positions. This is a win-win. Learners benefit from added manpower, while aspiring teachers gain valuable professional practice. This slide explains how learners will be grouped, especially in grades 1 to 3, with attention to language of instruction. For grade 1, if the CRLA is in mother tongue or Filipino, tutorial sessions must follow the same. For monolingual classes, mother tongue will be used, while in mixed settings, Filipino becomes the language of support. Notice also that older learners with urgent needs, like grade 6 pupils about to transition to high school, may be grouped into smaller classes for more focused remediation. Flexibility is key here. As long as the number of learners does not exceed 15, schools may adjust according to their context and needs. When we say Aral classes should be kept small, we mean more than just a number. Small class sizes bring several benefits. First, individualized instruction allows teachers to tailor lessons to each learner's reading gaps. Second, learners get more opportunities to read aloud, interact, and receive feedback. Third, struggling readers gain focused attention, which accelerates progress. Add to this better classroom management, less stress for the teacher, and higher confidence for learners. The result? A more supportive environment where every learner feels seen and guided. The law and policies also allow Aral sessions to be flexible in terms of modality. Face-to-face remains the recommended approach, because the teacher factor is strongest when learners and teachers interact directly. But for high-risk or hard-to-reach areas, modular and video-based options may be used. Schools are free to design their tutorial sessions depending on capacity, whether face-to-face, blended, or shifting to a different modality as part of risk management. The important thing is consistency of support and quality of instruction. Another decision schools need to make is whether Aral tutorials will be pull-out sessions or add-on programs. Pull-out means temporarily taking learners from regular classes for targeted instruction, while add-on means extending learning time after classes or during weekends. Each strategy has advantages. Pull-out sessions allow immediate remediation, while add-on programs give more time without disrupting core subjects. The choice ultimately depends on resources and context, but what matters most is that learners are not left without support. Aral reading sessions are designed to be short but focused. They should not exceed 1 hour on weekdays, with options of 30, 45, or 60 minutes depending on the school's resources. The preference is for daily sessions, or at least more than once a week, ensuring frequency and continuity in reading practice. Remember, the goal is not to overburden learners, but to provide sustained, manageable interventions that help build fluency and comprehension step by step. Aral reading itself has specific components to address different learner levels. For Key Stage 1, there is Aral reading that builds foundational skills. For Key Stages 2 and 3, we have Aral Reading Basic and Aral Reading Plus. Aral Basic focuses on building core competencies, while Aral Plus strengthens fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. This structure ensures that learners, whether just starting or already developing, receive the right kind of intervention suited to their needs. To put it simply, Aral Basic is the building block, helping learners master foundational reading skills. Aral Plus, meanwhile, enriches their ability to read smoothly, understand texts, and expand vocabulary. Together, these programs cover the full spectrum of reading needs, from catching up on the basics to enhancing comprehension. What this tells us is that Aral is not a one-size-fits-all approach, but a layered system designed to support learners at different stages of reading development. This slide illustrates what the Aral journey looks like for a grade 1 learner. It begins with the BOSI assessment using CRLA. Those who score below the minimum proficiency undergo classroom remediation in the first 2 quarters. 2 weeks before the Quarter 2 exam, all grade 1 pupils take the MOSI assessment, and those identified as low or high emerging are referred to Aral for an 8-week tutorial. After the sessions, if learners remain emerging, they stay in Aral. If they improve to developing, they exit and continue with classroom remediation. Those who persist with difficulties may either join Aral Summer or be referred for screenings like MFAT to determine if specialized interventions are needed. This journey shows that Aral is a continuous support system, not a one-time intervention. For grade